They got their guy. Welcome in. It's the Midday Show. Hugh Douglas, Joe Giglio, you guys with us. 215-592-9494. Kyle Quinn behind the glass. Paul George, officially a Sixer. Good morning, Hugh.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Philadelphia. Hey, listen, moms, every now and then, dads know what they're doing. We got this. You know, Joe, yesterday I took my son to the track. This was the first time we went outside running. What I'm trying to do is make exercise fun for him when he's young.
That makes sense to me.
So when he gets older, that he will, you know, it won't be something that's a big deal. So yesterday I had him outside. And, you know, we didn't run hard, but it was funny because I posted a picture of me and him running. And it was two camps that I was in. It was the dad camp and it was the mom camp. Now the dads were like, hey, you know, congratulations, get him out there young, get him going or whatever. And the moms were like, why you got that baby outside in the heat? It's too hot. So much so that not only his mother, his grandmother, and my mom text me or called me and say, why you got that baby outside like that? I'm like, listen, he wasn't running hard. He was just out like he was running at his pace. It wasn't like I was pushing him. But, you know, you just got to get him excited about it. But it's like, moms, every now and then, dads know what they're doing. Just let dads do what they do. And we got this. We got this.
You know what? Ironically, it sounds a lot like NBA free agency. You're going to have some people saying, boy, that's a lot of money to spend at 34-year-old. And you're going to have a lot, though. I imagine a lot today that say, good job, Sixers. Let's get into this here. The Sixers landed their guy last night. This was the plan for a while. Paul George was the Sixers' number 1 target. They landed him 4 years, $212 million.
Paid.
$215-592-9494. All right, Hugh, where do you come down on this? Because the Sixers, they targeted this guy, and I'll give Morey credit for this. They really kind of had a pause year last year to set up cap space for this summer, right? They kind of signed 1-year deals with guys last year, and they said, we'll see what happens in 2023-24. But next summer, that's when we're going to land someone. And they got the guy they wanted. They flew to L.A. yesterday. They had the meeting. Everyone seemed to think they were going to get him. I woke up this morning, and the news was official. Paul George, a Sixer. Hugh, are you excited?
To invoke a famous saying of the king, Howard Eskin, they landed the plane, Joe. They landed the plane. We landed the plane, man. I'm excited about it, Lyle, especially coming off of the heels of last week having a conversation about, you know, free agents not wanting to come here.
Yep.
You know, having a conversation about why not us? You know, maybe it's too tough to play here and things like that. I understand. Listen, I'm not a dummy. I know $212 million had a lot to do with the fact that he came here. I'm not a dummy, but he came here. He took the money, and he came here, and we got our big three. We got our big three, albeit he's 34 years old. But when you look at what we had to choose from, we were slim pickings, and we got the guy. We got a guy. Tyrese Maxey got his bread. We got our big three.
Well, they got the best available free agent. Once LeBron was going back to the Lakers, and once it was the reality that some guys maybe that some wanted, like a Jimmy Butler, weren't going to get traded, this was the best option. It didn't cost any picks. It just cost the cap room. They got their guy. And Hugh just mentioned a big three. Let's listen to Tim Bontemps, ESPN, talking about not just a big three, but maybe the best big three in the league right now.
3 guys they have now, all of whom were all-stars last year. You got a lead guard in Maxey. Got an elite two-way wing in Embiid, or in Paul George. You've got maybe the most dominant big in the league in Joel Embiid. They fit together perfectly. They complement each other in every way on the court. They're versatile. Paul George is an elite shooter. You have 2 elite shooters now, given spacing around Embiid. They can go out and get any kind of role players that can fit alongside them. They're versatile in a lot of ways. They have the highest ceiling now of any team in the league but the Boston Celtics. And they can go toe-to-toe with the Celtics depending on how healthy these guys are, which is obviously the biggest question. Paul George missed a bunch of time. You mentioned Allen. Joel has missed a lot of time. But if they're healthy in the spring, which obviously is going to be a huge if,
yes,
they are as good as any team in the league. And this isn't like the Phoenix Suns putting this big three together last year that was flawed from the start. This is a group that fits together perfectly. And the Sixers were a team that a year ago didn't really have a chance to win a title. Now they can go into the season saying, we have a legitimate shot to win a title with Paul George.
High praise. Tim Bontemps, ESPN, saying it's the best big three in the league, could compete with Boston, could go into the season thinking NBA championship. 215-592-9494. All right, let me say this. The Sixers got better last night. Obviously, Paul George is a really good player. You don't make 9 All-Star games in the NBA without being at least a high-level player. He's been that for a long time. He is skilled as a catch-and-shoot 3 guy. He's skilled as a defender. At least he at one point was a great defender. I would say he's still, good enough defender. and he's a good fit. I think he fits well with Maxey and Embiid. But am I allowed to be? Am I allowed today to be a little skeptical?
No,
of this? No. Oh,
no.
okay.
And I know what you're about to say. What you about to say?
Well,
what injuries and whatever?
You know what? Shut up. I'm asking before I say.
No,
anything.
I'm just saying. You say no, Joe. Say what you're gonna say, man. Because we know you. We know you, and we don't want you to hold it in. Because to hold in your feelings.
It's not good.
It's not good.
It is.
You.
It's not good.
Let
for
it go.
anybody.
Let it go.
Right.
Let it out. Let it out.
Again, it's a good player. They got better last night.
Here we go.
But I am skeptical. I mean, holy moly! They just gave a 34-year-old player
34, seasoned vet.
200. They gave him 4 years guaranteed.
30, you know what? In the NBA though, 34 ain't that bad. 34 ain't old.
You know what's better? 27, 28, 29,
it is,
30.
It is. But we get a seasoned veteran now. Granted, he ain't the guy he was 4 years ago, and I know that last year he played 74 games, which was up from his 70 games that he played in 2018. So he's been off hurt. But you get a 41% 3-point shooter.
That's very good.
And you're getting a guy that averages 22 points a game. The last time I checked, that's a hell of an upgrade from what we had at that position last year.
Well, yeah, I mean,
come on, Joe.
Of course, it's an upgrade over Tobias.
Put it like this.
Put it like this. Over Tobias.
Put it like this. If we had that average of 22 points a game, do we beat the Knicks?
Probably.
Yeah, even with a hobble Joel Embiid, do we beat the Knicks?
I think they would have won. If they had Paul George last year, they would have won the series. Look, I'm not saying George's not a good player, but here's my skepticism. He's 34 years old. At some point, he's going to decline significantly. Does it happen this year? I hope not. Will it happen by the end of the deal? Probably. I mean, he'll be 38.
Oh, yeah, he'll be 38.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, when I look at this 2-year run, 2 years. Because Joel Embiid listen, we got 3 or 4 years with Joel Embiid, so this is a 2 to 3 year window let's be honest with ourselves.
I think you're right on that. So, look, his age gives me some pause here. Hugh mentioned it. He's had a lot of injuries. So we have 2 players. If you tell me right now, Joe, you have to guess, will Embiid and or Paul George be healthy and ready to go in April and May and June? I don't know. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. My guess would be probably not both of them. That's their history. So Paul George has played 70-plus games once since 2019. I mean, that's a lot of basketball where it's like 55 games, 65 games. It's kind of like Joel Embiid where he gets hurt a lot. That's a concern for me. And then I look at his game, okay? It's still good. I'm not telling you it's not. And Hugh just mentioned the 41% three-point shooting. That's really good. And, he still averages 20 a game.
5.2 rebounds.
Couple things I've noticed, though. His rebounds and assists are going down, right?
Yeah.
So to me, he's becoming maybe a little bit less athletic, more of just a scorer, which the scoring is good. And the other thing I noticed is his free throw attempts have gone way down. And that usually is a sign of athleticism being a little different. Maybe he doesn't go to the basket as much. He just shoots. I just look at a player that he's been really good in the NBA, but 4 years, $212 million to a guy who's had very little playoff success and has injuries. I'm skeptical. I don't want to be the drunk uncle at the barbecue today. Everyone's going to have it on Thursday. But today, I'm feeling skeptical. 215-592-9494. I am skeptical on Paul George. And this isn't just, I woke up this morning feeling this way. I mean, I said this a month ago when we started saying these names that, man, he's good, but there's a lot of buts when it comes to Paul George and his career. 215-592-9494. That's how you hop in. All right, what are you feeling this morning? Like it, don't like it? Skeptical, or are you flat out excited that the Sixers have put together a big 3 here by landing a big name